Hello and welcome to a special video, or a signature video rather. This is the Belmo Collection. While I personally wasn't a fan of the original Timeless, my wife was, along with being a huge fan of Belmo himself. Over the years she's collected the various balls, even acquiring the original Belmo Sparkle Poly, and with the recently released Fate being the 6th reactive stateside Belmo ball, we felt the time was right for a collection review. You'll also see the Black Belmo Poly make appearances throughout the video whenever she needs the assistance on spares. The Timeless, of course, was the ball that started it all. Through the years, there have been several balls that bore certain players' monikers, but until the Timeless, it had been a while. The Timeless took the R2S hybrid cover from Belmo favorites such as the original High Road and Rocket, and put it on the unique new dual drive core. The dual drive was a core within a core, and resulted in a 257 RG and an 050 differential, somewhat similar to High Road numbers, but with a higher differential. The Timeless reacts like something between the High Road and Rocket, shaping more like a rocket but with the length and friction response of the High Road. I personally didn't get along with it, like I said, so I passed it on to Angel, and the love affair began. She gets around the ball more than I do, has slower speed, and is speed and rev matched. The Timeless, with its higher RG and cleaner cover, cruises through the fronts for her, and then the big differential gets it back on the back end, while her style and the slightly forward nature of the ball balance perfectly to deliver the optimal motion for her on the back end. This is a freshly drilled one, but she was still throwing her original one up to now and thought this was a great excuse to replace and retire it. The drive was the second Belmo ball, using the same dual drive core, but going with the stronger R2S nano cover. By taking R2S and blending it with NRG, they created something with more teeth, more traction, but something still cleaner and more responsive than NRG, of course. While the Timeless was more of a consumer-friendly release, the drive was more in the direction of something like the Trend 2 would be later, much more of a performance tool than a universal daily driver in League. Angel actually never had a drive when it was out originally. We were too broke to get her one, hashtag ProShop operator. So while she's had this in the stash for a while, this is the first time she's getting to throw it. Very archy ball. I'd compare the shape to something like a Phase 2, but like a Phase 2, it'll do whatever you want it to. It's strong but controllable. With the right amount of shape, it can be forward if you want it to be, or it can pick up and be very continuous. The ball itself does continue to continue, so it just rolls and continues to climb. So physical adjustments can make it do virtually anything you want it to. It can cover boards or be fired up second arrow. Due to this, not the most generally user-friendly, it wasn't extremely forgiving if you weren't accurate, but this is one of those balls that gets better the better you are. It's perfect for someone like Angel, who is generally very consistent with her release, if a bit shaky on targeting sometimes. The next is maybe the most famous of the Belmo releases, the most anticipated, and the most polarizing. The ProMotion featured the new Spec Solid cover debuted on the Crux Prime with the new piston core. Spec Solid is a very strong but very smooth cover stock, featuring very little oil absorption, insane durability, and the lane blending of urethane, but with more of a reactive shape. The piston core dropped the RG to 252, which is squarely medium, but not as low and rolly as an IQ Tour, but not as high as a High Road, and the differential at 049 is on the low end of high, but it's virtually a slightly higher RG big core symmetric. Not as early as a Phase or Idol, but not as long as something like a Wolverine or Spectre. The ProMotion has been in my bag since it came out. I've had 3 righty and 3 lefty, and I'm not at liberty to say how many backups I have. The lane management, blending, and transition muting characteristics of the ProMotion are unmatched, and while it wasn't fully appreciated while it was available, people have realized the value, and now they're in fairly high demand. The ProMotion is absolutely not a regular league ball for regular league bowlers looking for length and shape. It's 100% a premier performance tool that lefties should never go anywhere without, and that you should have for every sport, tournament, or league you go to. Very round shaping, like a stronger IQ Tour, but more controllable, which of course means the occasional carry issue, but you won't ever throw anything easier to hit the pocket with on anything than the ProMotion. Belmo ball number 4 used the same core in the piston, but flipped the script. The trend with the R2S Pearl cover was the prototypical league killer and a quite amazing compliment to the promo. R2S Pearl has typically been used anytime Storm wants to make a super forgiving and versatile hit for the masses. IQ Gold, High Road Pearl, Astrophysics, Phase 5, etc. The trend was the perfect league ball, if maybe a bit on the clean and weakish side for some, part of the way between a round shape and an arc. From second or third arrow on a league shot, you weren't going to find a better combination of length, shape, or control at virtually the perfect strength for most league bowlers on most league conditions. The trend was also quite good at following the pro motion on tougher conditions because of how stable and smooth a motion the piston core creates. It has a solid amount of strength without an overwhelming amount of torque or revving, and you can really see the difference when you put it side by side with a Phase 5. Same cover, but the velocity core in the Phase is more aggressive and it revs faster. The piston core just rolls and stays very stable, so it really lets the cover be the star of the show. However, neither the pro motion nor the trend were big fans of angle, so next we enter the Trend 2 and the piston LD core. By lowering the density of the core and adding a stronger cover stock, the Trend 2 was a little more cover heavy. The RG went up to 254 and the differential went down to 041. Weaker from a core perspective, a little longer and more blendy due to less flare, but the NRG hybrid cover from the original physics added both teeth and shape. The piston LD core is still just as stable and consistent as the original piston, just in a weaker package, but with the stronger cover that was factory polished, we have more strength and shape. Like I mentioned earlier, while the Drive and Trend 2 aren't too related as far as overall ball motion, they are related in the area of being amazing tools. Not incredibly forgiving, but incredibly versatile. The sky is the limit as far as possibilities. The better you are, the better the ball will be. Again, it can be incredibly continuous if you want it to be, or stop and go straight. You can walk it down the side or loft the left gutter. Just one of the better symmetric tools out there. Unfortunately, it was caught up in the USB-C actions and had to be discontinued, but it was only very lightly restricted and you can still throw it in league and at the vast majority of tournaments. Finally, we have the Fate, the hot and popular REX Pearl cover, a blend of NEX and R2S that creates a strong but very clean and responsive look, and the new sharply named F8 core. The RG stays at 252 like the piston, but the differential goes up to 053, so again, similar idea, very stable and controllable, but juiced a little. The Fate is an incredibly well-designed ball that seems to incorporate bits from the previous balls into a refined total package. It has the response of the Timeless, the control of the Drive, the rounder shape of the Pro Motion, the length of the Trend, and the versatility of the Trend 2. While it was a little weak out of the box due to the new factory gloss that we aren't big fans of, the more we throw it, the better and stronger it gets. Angel actually used reactive scuff on hers to get rid of the reactive gloss, and this is the result. A ball that is exceptionally well balanced and is in play on more conditions for more bowlers than it really seems like it should be. I take mine everywhere and throw it constantly, and Angels is in play as often as anything else for League, but it's an automatic in the bag for tournaments. I'll turn the staffer hype back down a little, but realistically, you could have put me on mute and watched and gotten the same impression. It's just really good, and even you Belmo haters that are watching have to admit it. Hopefully we'll eventually see some other player collaborations appear in the signature line, but I'm sure we'll continue to see Belmo releases either way, and hopefully we get to see more of the F8 core with different covers. Link is in the description to pick a Fate up from Bowler's Mart. Remember my code Rosdahl10 for 10% off at CoolWick. Check out my new YouTube memberships for plenty of early access and extra content. Thanks to my outstanding members. Thank you for watching, and may the strikes be with you.